This dwarven monk hangs his head, as if looking down at his feet. A wretched gurgling noise issues from him. Staring down into his face, you realize you were staring into mutilation. He has no eyes, his empty sockets crawling with blood maggots. The gurgling sound comes from his stitched mouth, though no meaning can be understood. He does not resist in the least, merely slumps to the ground with one final gurgle.
This Magister didn't die by a sword anyway. Something's afoot here.
Voidwoken! The sorcerer's conjured Voidwoken! Form up! Don't let them over the bridge!
The spectral Magister raises his sword and shield against an unseen Voidwoken foe.
Everything is very dark all of a sudden.
I've spotted something.
Time and the elements have left this grave marker illegible.
My thanks for your help.
He takes a pull from a water canteen, then splashes some over his blood-stained hands.
No, it ain't mine. A sorcerer fugitive was hiding here. Some of the locals were stupid enough to help him. We got a tip-off, but he wasn't willing to go quietly. These Voidwoken appeared, thanks to him. It was messy. A lot of the locals didn't make it, and those that did, well, there's a price for helping sorcerers.
Any trace of gratitude for your help against the Voidwoken drains away in an instant.
Take my advice and don't say another word, hear me? Sorcerers brought this plague down on us. Them and the sort of folk who see fit to help them. They'll all get what they deserve. You can join them if you like. Otherwise, you can shut your trap. What the hell do you think it means?
He pats the pommel of his sword, his hand still tinted with dried blood. Little doubt whom it belongs to anymore.
Damned idiot! You asked for this!
The spirit of a woman cowers before you. She has her hand clamped over her mouth in a desperate effort to stifle the whimpering. Something catches her eye. Terror swamps her, and she slips to the floor, screaming.
Help! Somebody! Help! Voidwoken!
Villagers. Some slain by Voidwoken. Others, perhaps not.
Be grateful that you don't feel the need. The spirit of a matronly woman stands before you. She shakes her head as she soundlessly argues with someone unseen. A faint sound catches your ear, the rasp of metal upon leather, a sword unsheathed. The spirit's eyes bulge with panic. She raises her arms protectively. A chilling sensation passes right through you. For a moment, it sounds like you can hear a distant male voice utter a confused, "Huh?" The woman's eyes seem to fix upon you, a brief flash of lucidity.
Big Magister did this. He didn't care that I was innocent. I heard them call him Stanley as I bled out on the ground.
The moment passes. There's another swish of metal through the air. The spirit collapses backwards, a silver gash opening the full width of her torso. The woman's spirit lies still on the ground, mirroring the pose of her mortal remains.
Not much of a landlubber, but sometimes I get no choice in the matter. Besides, there's business to take care of.
The bitter air warms you as you near the stone monument.
Well now, how's my favorite god woken?
Ifan raises an eyebrow and folds his arms, looking every inch the man you'd hate to run into in a dark alley at night.
Of course I'm afraid of things. Heights, the dark, even spiders, truth be told. I just do things anyway. The fear doesn't go away, but my body is used to the rush by now. Keep going long enough and, well, the intensity is how you know you're alive.
Ifan claps you on the shoulder and... The spirit of the Magister continues to fight a battle that he's destined to lose. He's discarded his shield and desperately swings his sword with both hands.
I've spotted something.
The plinth of the statue bears a series of deep, circular scratches upon its stone. The statue can be rotated. The sculpture looks impossibly heavy, yet turns with little effort. The statue rotates with little resistance. You cringe at the sound of stone grating against stone. The statue rotates with little resistance. The masked creature is mute, save the occasional moan. At first glance, the spirit seems much like its host, hollow, detached, yet in its eyes you see something more ominous, something not apparent before. Agony. Your hand reaches through the spirit. Your source is inert. You see no memories, siphon no emotions. Its face grows even more tortured. It is trapped. By what or by whom, you cannot say.
This spirit's as haunted as the graveyard it roams.
The spirit does not respond to your presence.
You there! Help me, please! Some thoughtless fool buried me in this grave to be left as fodder for the worms. I can't be at peace in a place like this. I have to be put to rest according to lizard tradition. The eternal fire burns in the lizard quarter of the cemetery. I beg you, cast my remains into the fire. Set my spirit free. I will never know peace otherwise.
Vilnix Creever. Almost sounds like a lizard name. But here...
These must be the remains of that lizard spirit. Just as he said.
Here lieth Jeffa, first name unknown, and of no further use. Pauline Lacey lies here, burned in her bed. As in life, so in death. Arthur Bree lies here, sadly missed by customers and family alike. Here lies Porphyria Swan, died of shrieking hysteria. Let the gossips chatter, no matter. Here lies an unknown farmhand, not a dwarf, but of them. A smallish man of no small heart. Here lies Zebedee Harron, would sell his granny, but at the fairest of prices.
A mind of this magnitude shouldn't be cursed to live like this. Can you dig me up? Well, I used to be... Wait, who did I used to be? I can say with confidence who I am now, at least. A thinker, the likes of which you've never known and never will. Don't worry, there's nothing funny about me.
More not for Crispin, a simpleton's idea of a clever man, and a poor man's idea of a rich one.
I'll just wait here then.
The skeleton tries to brush the dirt from his clattering bones, then frowns. The moistest bits are still stuck in his cracks and crevices.
Thanks. You're probably looking for a reward, but I haven't got much. Except, you know, the wisdom of the ages.
He pokes a finger against his ossified head.
I'm a bit of a philosopher, you see. Not much else to be, what with all that thinking time. Oh, but I don't just go around giving knowledge away like a common medium.
The skeleton pauses and sighs, then straightens his spine with a clatter.
A soul bond will settle it. A battle of wits. Then the cosmos itself will decide who can better face the truth of our own essence, me or you. A weak soul may not survive the bond. But I'm sure you'll be just fine. Oh, it's easy. We link up souls and share our innermost beliefs. Think of it like an innocent little duel. The winner remains comfortable with their personal truths. The loser, well... Oh, how fun. Just touch this bone on my rib cage here, right over where my heart would be, if, well, you know.
You reach for the rib in question, but nothing feels different. Not until you try to pull your finger away and it remains glued to the bone.
All right, mister. Deep thought. First up, our purpose in life. I say it's to accumulate knowledge. pretty great answer, eh? Can you do better than that?
His jaws clack together in a show of self-assurance. You question your response the moment it leaves your lips. Your entire body shivers anxiously as you wonder, what is this life's true meaning?
You poor, precious, pathetic thing. That's what happens when you gaze into an unseasoned soul. Let's see if you can do better this time. Tell me, Sammy Smarty Pants, is there such a thing as free will? I say no. The gods guide our every move. I dare you to outsmart me now.
You are immobilized by fear. Fear of the unknown, fear of nothing, fear of everything. It aches, as if the weight of the world presses against your skull.
Aw, you're as weak as a kitten. There, it'll be okay. I hate to ask another question, but the bond demands it. Sorry and all that. So tell me, is there a difference between right and wrong? Don't hurt yourself now. I know how trying this must be for you.
You feel the bond break between your finger and the skeleton. You pull your hand quickly back to your side. Inner doubt rips through your mind, soul, and body. The pressure builds and builds.
Such a pity. If it ain't Francis Philosopher, looks like you recovered from your existential crisis. I hope you find that wisdom you're looking for. Won't be from me. Do you ever meet a true philosopher?
He pokes a finger against his ossified head.
You found one right here. Spent centuries buried under the dirt. What with all that thinking time, I've found nothing less than the wisdom of the ages. Are you questioning my intellect? You think you say more sooth than me, a verified soothsayer?
The skeleton pauses and sighs, then straightens his spine with a clatter.
A soul bond will settle it. A battle of wits. Then the cosmos itself will decide who can better face the truth of it. But I'm sure you'll be just fine. Oh, how fun.
You reach for the ribbon.
All right, mister. deep.
His jaws clack together in a show of self-assurance. A shattering shiver passes through the skeleton's body from toe to head, then back again.
Well, but... Let's just move on to the next question. Tell me, Sammy Smarty Pants, is there such thing as free will? I say no. The gods guide our every move. I dare you to outsmart me now. Oh, gods, I can hardly bear to. All right, I need to get a hold of myself.
The skeleton hangs his head low, then yanks it upwards again.
One last query. Is there a difference between right and wrong? The truth is that there is not. Only action and consequence. Oh-ho! I got you there.
You feel the bond break between your finger and the skeleton. You pull your hand quickly back to your side.
I can't bear this existential agony. What have you...
Callum Anchoret lies here. Fell in the Great War, aged 14. The lizard hums tunelessly. Not a melody exactly, but more of a meandering moan.
10 spans under, humans slept. 10 spans up, the dwarves were kept. Lizards burned in lasting flame. Elven trees towards skies did aim.
She looks to your left with one eye and to your right with the other.
It helps me remember where the dead go. Sometimes they don't stay where I put them. That's okay.
She smiles at you with the innocence of a newborn. The hum still throbs in her throat.
Keeping watch, tending the graves.
She returns to her humming. She flinches as you move closer.
No, no touching.
Her humming fades. The eerie silence lasts for several seconds.
Riker might get mad. He doesn't like it when someone touches his things. No work. I do it 'cause I like it. Don't cause trouble. Just dig and pluck weeds and shoo the ravens.
She shivers and whispers.
He's a powerful sorcerer. Lives here in the garden. Can take the you from you. No brain, just body. My mind isn't big, but it's still mine.
She points at her head.
The servants, they got nothing up there. Riker has it all now. They need to be freed. Only way, kill Riker. The servants, so lost, chained by Sorcerer Riker, but they can still go home to the hall. Set them free.
The ensuing silence lasts for several seconds, until she picks up the melody once again and turns away.
I can't tell whether she's welcoming me or warding me away. Crude and cultured, both at once.
The old girl was born from good stock. The Queen of Perils. Duna's mistress, the tales say. In life, we are Earth's caretakers. In death, we are the skies.
The eagle glowers at you with one baleful eye, keeping the other eye firmly trained on the stringy morsels of rotting flesh dangling from its beak.
You dare touch Master's gifts? No invitation. Leave now. Leave me and Master alone.
Well now, how's my favorite god woken?
Ifan claps you on the shoulder. The eagle glowers at you balefully, with eyes like shiny little buttons. One manicured and beribboned claw shoots forth to claim the stringy offal before him. Stretching his neck forward, he peers closely at you.
Pretty eyes. Eyes that see far.
The eagle's own eyes glitter with avarice.
Master tied them on. Pretty ribbons. Match my pretty claws. Match your pretty eyes.
Peck, peck, peck. The eagle pecks free some choice lump of gristle from deep within the corpse. He swallows it whole, dark blood dripping from his beak and matting the fluffy feathers at his throat.
Master died, but Master told me what to do. All my life told me you are what you eat. So I do. I will become the Master, unless You are not the new master, are you? The new master must first partake of the old master. Only then.
You chew it for what seems like forever, yet the texture does not change in your mouth. Tough, yet moist. Leathery, yet slippery. It's disgusting. Sometimes you really wonder about how you make choices in life. Sometimes, like now. The eagle hops from claw to claw, peering up at you with a berserk and bird-like excitement.
See? Feel it? The power!
A hacking caw breaks free from his ebony beak. Those little button eyes seem to twinkle in the gloom.
Yes, kidney. Good for courage, good for warrior. You will fight well, now Master's blood runs within you. Featherfall is with you. Together, we go together from here.
Featherfall hops eagerly onto your shoulder and digs his claws in deep. He pecks your cheek in what could charitably be called an affectionate manner. Blood drips from the wound. At least he didn't go for your eyes. Biting deep into the rotting flesh, your senses are assailed with a rank odor of meat long past its prime. Your memory wavers and becomes not your own, but the memory of one who led the most solitary of lives. You see myriad wings flapping, your hand scattering birdseed. You hear the screeching of eagles, the tearing of flesh. All of your life is centered on this place, this pedestal of death. All of your life is dedicated to feeding your eagles the meat of your dearly departed people.
Locked in perpetual prayer. Keep trying, my friend.
Here lies the body of Riona Lee, drowned in the flood of 83. A passing drifter tried to save her, and himself was dragged under.
Another forgotten king from another forgotten time.
Here lies Ogden Quincy, poet and tavern wit. Here lieth the clown, thank the gods. Here resteth Edmund Vanelick, Gallant soldier, nearly a hero.
This part is gated off from the rest. Whoever is buried here must have been important.
Here rests the human hero Garrick. He served Lucian the Divine with immense skill and slew the necromancers who preyed upon the dead of Stone Garden Cemetery. The implements of his heroism shall rest at the site of his victory. Here rests the elven hero Halla. He served Lucian the Divine with great vigor and defended the farmers who feed Reaper's Coast against pitiless bandits. The implements of his heroism shall rest at the site of his victory. Here rests the dwarven hero Bromley. She served Lucian the Divine with honor and cast out the demons that plagued the great woodlands. The implements of her heroism shall rest at the site of her victory. Here rests the lizard hero Vidia. She served Lucian the Divine with great dignity and vanquished the strange beasts that arose from the primordial caverns of Reaper's Coast. The implements of her heroism shall rest at the site of her victory. Suddenly, the earth churns and buckles upwards in several places. some things are trying to rise to the surface.
Godwoken! You must fall! The God King demands it!
You must fall, so that we may rise!
Let your blood quench our roots, so we may grow.
The covenant shall be fulfilled. Woken.
Those were heroes. What happened to them? And what's this covenant?
The heroes of Driftwood lie at your feet, dead for good this time.
Most foreboding. When did heroes turn villains? And what is this covenant?
Whatever this covenant is, it didn't bring them victory.
I wonder what prize was sweet enough to make him into this.
This covenant of theirs didn't do them much good. Onwards.
They were corrupted somehow. If it could happen to them, it could happen to us. We should be cautious.
Whoever is behind all this will have to try harder if they want to stop us.
The dog growls and bares its teeth at you in a wide, unsettling grin. You swear you see a worm emerge from its grey-pink gums, then burrow back in.
Come closer. I dare you.
He sniffs, he snarls.
I am death. There's no defying me.
The dog's growls intensify and transform into a rhythmic rasp that mimics laughter. You swear you see the ground behind him momentarily churn and tremble.
Do not mock me. You know what lies beneath. But I will not allow you another step closer, human. Can has already laid claim to it. Ha! She calls herself master. I call her minion. Whatever name you choose, it is her hand that will wield it, not yours.
The dog raises its head to the stormy sky and howls. The earth beneath you vibrates, a dirge plucked on the strings of a rotting lute.
Necrotic Troll, you are summoned. Crawl through the gate. The earth opens for thee.
do get around, don't you?
He takes a satisfied sniff and rubs his hands together. His lips stretch into a mischievous smirk.
When it comes to graveyards, I'm a kid in a candy shop. All sorts of goodies and gewgaws for the taking. And a bit of rousing conversation. If you know what to dig, that is. Ah, it's a quandary, you see. I'm not exactly welcome in the Stone Garden. The servants that tend the graves, well, their master, this Riker fellow, caught me nosing around, so he had them chase me off. The spirits within are particularly feisty as well. Can't say why. I'm as gentle as can be. Alas, I'm stuck sniffing out herbs and fungi on the outskirts.
He presses a forefinger against his chin and hums.
This is when having access to a god-woken might come in handy. You see, beyond the gates, there's something that my heart, such as it is set on. Well, that's the gold-plated question it is. I dare say you'll enjoy this story. Somewhere in this graveyard lies an object of tremendous power. Or so the legends say, anyway. Belonged to a family buried near here, the Surreys. I've been reading up on them. An ancient clan of eccentrics and oddballs. Fascinating people, truly. Old Joanna was the last. The poor, poor dear. Had no money, no children, just this incredible heirloom passed down to her through the generations. Problem is, no one knows what this object is. Only that it's an astounding piece of work. Seems Joanna took its secrets to her grave. Rather literally.
His coy grin freezes.
Hours spent on scholarship are never hours wasted.
Tarquin sighs, and his lips unfreeze. For a moment, he looks almost modest.
It pains me to say, but you've talents in the adventuring department that I do not. This heirloom could prove valuable for both of us. I've told you everything you need to... everything I know. What it is doesn't matter. What it does... well, if I am right, it will clean up quite an unholy mess. A mess we're both currently mired in.
He looks toward the graveyard.
Let's make this easy. I'll assume you've accepted my mission. You'll assume I give it in good faith. Beautiful. The Surrey tomb must be somewhere nearby. And whatever that object is in there, I bet it's impressive. I do wish I could wander inside. It would be nice to look up some old friends. See if they're in good spirits.
So close, so far away.